I'm going to buy and hold, and I'm looking at dollars as my target price. All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom. This is not financial advice. We are here to talk about all things investing, and today I want to talk to you about a company called Hut8, stock ticker HUT, H-U-T. So this is one of my favorite companies. This is not my first video on these guys. However, they just came out with their second quarter results, so I wanted to go through those. So what I kind of want to take a look at in this video real quick is we'll go through the Q2 results, look at the revenue, look at their Bitcoin inventory. We'll talk about their hash rate, and then there was some analysts updates. I want to look at that, and then we'll do a quick look at the chart and some price targets. Having said that, let's take a look at the Q2 results. Okay, Hut8 achieves second consecutive record level quarterly revenue in Q2 of 2021. So we'll just go through it right in the order they did. The first thing they talked about is Bitcoin inventory and value. So those of you familiar with this company know that they have a significant inventory of Bitcoin. So I'm just going to go through this real quick. Okay, as of June 30th, 2021, which is the second quarter that they're reporting on, they had 3,824 Bitcoin with a market value of $166 million. They now went from 3,824, they now have 4,240 Bitcoin, reflecting a market value of approximately $245 million. So they mined 300 Bitcoin in July, which was by far their record. That month is not even reflected in this second quarter results. That leads us into hash rate and compute power. Hut8 currently has an installed hash rate of 1.37 exahash. So with 1.37 exahash, they were able to mine 300 Bitcoin in the month of July, which is impressive. Given pending orders, we have additional contracted hash rate of 1.3 exahash, bringing the contracted hash rate to approximately 2.7 exahash. So that's just about double where they are right now. The financial results that we're about to look at, the revenue that we're about to look at, is from 6 to 6.5 Bitcoin per day. So this is saying they went from 6 to 6.5 per day in late June to approximately 9.5 to 10 Bitcoin per day in late July. So you can see that's a significant increase. And now they're talking about 20 to 25 Bitcoin per day by the end of this year. So to sum up, they're going to go from about 6 Bitcoin a day to potentially 20 to 25 Bitcoin a day by the end of the year. Now, the 6 Bitcoin a day helped them set their all-time revenue record in quarter 2 of 2021. You can expect that the third quarter will break this record and the fourth quarter will break that record. This is a company moving in the right direction big time. Their growth rate is giant. The CEO has talked about 6 exahash per second of hash rate in the year 2022, and they've made some significant equipment purchases to get them towards that goal. That would then be to even double this. So the 20 to 25 could potentially be 50 or more per day. So, you multiply that by the price of what you think Bitcoin may be in the year 2022, and you start to get astronomical numbers. Having said that, I want to take a time out and just show you what this company is worth right now. Okay, so I'm late in the trading day here on Monday. Hut8 is currently trading at $6.61. That puts them at a market cap of $959 million. So they are currently under a $1 billion market cap. $959 million may seem like a lot, but the thing is, their peers, and I consider their peer group to be Marathon Digital, Riot Blockchain, and Bitfarms. So Marathon Digital and Riot have been trading on the NASDAQ for a significantly longer period of time. Hut8 and Bitfarm just listed themselves on the NASDAQ. So they are going, in my opinion, to correct and kind of catch up to the competition, because Marathon and Riot are trading at about $3.5 billion. It would have to triple or more to have a similar market cap to theirs. So that's just to put things in perspective. I'm not saying it's going to do that, but that's a good point of reference. So let's keep looking at Q2. Okay, Q2 2021 highlights. The second consecutive record quarterly revenue, hitting $33.5 million in Q2 of 2021. This hosting service for a couple of $1 million, I think, is where their cash comes from for operations, and that allows them to hold all of their Bitcoin. So it says we mined 553 Bitcoin in Q2, all of which was added to our self-mined Bitcoin balance. So they have a significant amount of momentum going here, and they continue to add machines. They continue to increase their Bitcoin that they mine per day. They're saving all their Bitcoin that they mine each day. So their balance sheet is extremely strong. They have no debt. They're setting themselves up for a good second half of the year and an even better 2022. So recently, another thing has happened to these guys. 2 analysts have picked them up and put a price target on. I just want to look at that real quick, because being covered by major analysts helps a company gain traction with institutional investing. So between the combination of listing themselves on the NASDAQ and getting a few analysts to cover them, they're a much higher profile company right now, and that will only continue to increase over time. More analysts will pick this up as time goes by. The first 2 analysts waited for the July mining results and the Q2 results, and then they came out, and I will show you what they did. So here are 2 analysts that now cover Hut 8. So the first one, on August 3rd, George Sutton picked up coverage on that day, and he put a $10 price target. That's almost a double from where it was trading on that day. And that was the first analyst to pick Hut 8 up since they've uplisted to the NASDAQ. Now, 10 days later, on August 13th, Kevin Deed of H.C. Wainwright has picked them up and put an $11 price target on them. So as you can see, this is a 5-star and a 4.5-star analyst. So these are respected analysts from respected firms. And within the last week or two, they've both put a buy rating on, indicating an upside of, close to 100% from where they're priced right now. All of that said, let's go take a look at the chart. Hut 8 uplisted to the NASDAQ. So my Better Charting program started a new chart on that date. I just wanted to give a little historical perspective. I brought a lot of these lines over to my new chart, so they're going to look like they came from nowhere, but this is Hut 8's trading history over the counter in US dollars. I've drawn a bunch of lines on here, and a bunch of these are from the chart that we just looked at. So we're currently trading at $6.61. So I've drawn several blue lines that I consider to be very short-term price targets. And it depends on which way Bitcoin breaks. Bitcoin has been hanging around 46,400 all day today. If Bitcoin breaks to the upside in the short term, then obviously the blue lines above here are going to be my price targets. If Bitcoin breaks support, it may test some lower numbers. I don't believe Bitcoin is going to retest its all-time lows. Based on that, I put a few short-term price targets on here, and then I'll talk to you about where I think this stock is going over time. In the event that Bitcoin does break down and retest some recent lows, I've drawn a line here at $5.86. So that represents a 10-day low. On August 10th, I did have an opportunity to pick up some more shares of this at about $5.90. So that was fortunate. That was a good buying opportunity. It hasn't dipped below that since, but you never know. And that's why I have the lines on these charts. So if it got back to that again, I would buy some more again. Again, this is not financial advice. This is what I'm doing. So you guys have to decide what you're comfortable with. The line that I have below that, if Bitcoin really tests that $40,000 mark, you could potentially see Hut 8 pulling back to, I've drawn a line at $4.42. I do not foresee that, but I need to draw the line for my own sake so that I understand if it gets there, there's a buying opportunity there. So I will dollar cost average in all the way down to $4.42 if I'm given the opportunity, which I doubt. As an aside, please smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and ring the bell so you never miss a video. There's really no resistance for them to pop up to $7, $8, $9. We saw there's 2 analysts covering this. One gave it a $10 price target, one gave it an $11 price target. So I've drawn a yellow line at $10.50. That is the average of the two analysts. I believe that is also a relatively short-term price target. For me, I'm expecting that to happen, sometime in the next 90 days. So again, Bitcoin does funny things, so we may have to wait for it. But I think that's the first significant line, somewhere around $10, $10.50. Then I've drawn a yellow line at $13, which was its previous all-time high. So I see it reaching the $13 price point, retesting its previous high sometime by the end of the year. My 12 to 18 month price target for this would be $20. So that would start to put them at a market cap that is more similar to the companies that I consider their peers, both from a hash rate standpoint, from an operational standpoint, from energy cost standpoint, and actually Hut 8 is holding a lot of Bitcoin, so they're ahead a lot of their competitors in that regard. So that wouldn't even get them all the way up to equal to Marathon or Riot. It would just start to get them in a neighborhood where it makes sense. So for me, I'm looking at buying on the dips if I can. I'm looking at a couple of short-term price targets where maybe I'll take a little profits, but in the long term, I'm going to buy and hold, and I'm looking at $20 as my target price. So again, this is not financial advice. You guys take a look and see what you want to do. So those are my thoughts on Hut 8. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.